Cash starvation is a concept. One of the things we talk about is trying to have a diagnostic. We want to be able to have proof, evidence, right? There's a lot of brilliant people that like that evidentiary-based thing. So I've had people in the past, and we created, this is a brand new session that we're delivering today. I've had people in the past ask me, well, how do I know when we're having a problem? How do I know when things are going off the rails? Now you would think that would be kind of a logical answer, right? It'd be like, I don't know when you can't pay your bills, but there are so many people that their life has been like that forever. And it's interesting, you find somebody who makes $500,000 and you say, oh my God, that would be great. I can't tell you how many people I talk to that are dying on the very salary that they once dreamed of. Right? The person that says, man, if I can make 52 grand a year, right, oh, we'd be doing good. And now they make 252 and it still can't make ends meet. So the idea of cash starvation is some diagnostics that will help you identify the problem. But it isn't necessarily not being able to pay your bills. There are people that are cash starved that still pay their bills. It may require an effort, it may be hard, it may be some issues that come out of it. But these are some diagnostics that go along with it. If you see yourself falling into these things, these are some red flags that I want to make sure that you take into consideration of, okay? Again, this is a problem, but it is something that is fixable. The first thing that we find in the cash starvation is you need, let me flip this over here. You know, I'll put it down here. You need new money for old problems. New money for old problems. So let me give you an example of what that means. That's somebody who has no marketing budget and needs to make some new sales in order to start advertising. It's somebody that is on credit hold with a vendor, right? They can't buy from this person because they need new money to pay off the old problems. Now that's a very strong diagnostic. That doesn't mean that in every business, no, you may have this situation. It may not be specific to any particular degree, but it is something I want you to be cogent of. But I want you to be cogent of for two reasons. But I want you to be aware of it for when you become a victim of it. For example, a contractor that says, I need to get 50% of the money before I can start the job to buy the materials. All right? Now that's a logical answer. Right on the surface, that seems like it makes sense. Are there some people that don't require your deposit to buy the materials? Sure, all the time. I've had wonderful contractor relationships where Janet says, this is what I want, and they say, okay, good, we'll be there on Tuesday. And Janet's like, good, when you're done, you got a check. There are people who need, right, they need the deposit from the clients in order to buy the necessary materials. That would be like a toy manufacturer saying, well, listen, you got to give me half to, for the Barbie dream house, or we at Mattel can't build it. If you think of it in that regard, all right, but when we talk about the idea of, again, this cash starvation, it isn't, I'm having a hard time paying the bills. That's the symptom. Or excuse me, that's not the symptom, that's the symptom. It's not the reason. All right? It's the symptom that comes along with it. These are the reasons. These are the diagnostics for the reason. So the first item is new money for old problems. One, it could be in a contract. What could some other ones be? New money for old problems. Well, somebody that didn't have an intact savings plan, right? Their old problem was they're in their middle 50s. They've never started saving for retirement. They have no money for retirement. Now, the new money has got to solve the old problems. So now $100 a week, which was no big deal when you started in 1985. Now when you say, okay, to get to where you need to be, you've got to save $3,000 a month. If they make $4,000 a month, there's a very good chance that they're not going to save that. All right? But now that is a diagnostic. That's that cash starvation diagnostic. That's the recognition now that you need new money to deal with old problems. Right? So that might be the investment in technology, right? That they don't have a computer that works or a printer or anything that actually still functions. Now they have to go and buy all bunches of new things, but now they're playing catch up. That person who should have started when they were in their 30s isn't starting until their 50s. Now they're playing catch up. Now they're almost stuck. They can't move forward, at least not in a substantive way. You need to be able to be aware of that. And again, not only for yourself, certainly, because we all fall into that new money and old problems types of situations. Could be an old debt that we have, right? Some issue on a credit report that you got to clear up before you get your mortgage. We all have a version of that, and yet we don't see it for the symptom of what it actually is. So I want you to be cogent of that. Doesn't mean that you're not going to give the deposit to the contractor. Doesn't mean you're not going to do that. I just want to be aware of it. All right? The person that asks for it, what's the reason? All right? Because that person, I'm going to be a little bit more tenuous if they don't have trade credit, if they can't go to, their vendor and get some kind of dated billing on the credit. Why? Because that's what most legitimate businesses do.